Schedule a Zoom with me at GCExperts.com/Zoom. Nice to
How you
finally
doing,
meet
John?
you. Fantastic. Okay, a couple of ground rules for this conversation. Number one, I've realized over my career that people in the construction business have really good bullshit meters. So I want you to turn those on. Bullshit meters. You know, like
meters. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So bullshit.
Cut to the chase. Yep.
Oh,
cut
yeah.
to the chase.
So, number one, I want you guys to turn that on for everything that you hear in this conversation. If you decide at any point that you're talking to somebody who's full of shit, I want you to say, that's nuts. I'm out of here. And I'm going to say, glad to have met you.
Okay.
Number two, personalities are different in this world. And you never want to get in business or work with somebody who doesn't jive with your personality. If you can get past if you can get past that I'm not full of shit, the next thing you need to be asking yourself is this the kind of guy I'd want to be talking to on any kind of a regular basis? Because I'm not for everybody.
Okay.
Those are the ground rules. The next thing I want to talk about is the difference between a federal contractor's business and your business. The question I'm about to ask you, the answer is different for everybody. I don't know if you guys, a big contract for you is 20,000. I don't know if a big contract for you is 2 million or 20 million. But tell me what a good size contract is that you guys are happy with.
Well, quarter million?
Quarter and a half.
Yeah, quarter and a half. Oh, yeah.
Okay, somewhere under $500,000 or up to $500,000. Great. Like I said, that's different for everybody. Now, if tomorrow you guys go out and get a $500,000 contract and you hand it over to Brooke, and Brooke goes and puts it in the office and opens up the filing cabinet and puts that contract in there, can anybody in the whole world walk right into her office, open up that filing cabinet and go, holy shit, Vaughn, you guys got a $500,000 contract? I've just asked you a question and I want you to answer that.
Moving forward or in the past?
I'm asking you right now, if you guys go out and get a $500,000 contract and you go put it in your filing cabinet, can anybody in the whole world barge right into your office, open up that filing cabinet and go, holy crap, take a look at it?
That is actually a great question, Sean, because we are turning our office into Fort Knox today. So moving today forward, the answer is no.
Well, wait a second. Let's take last week. Can anybody walk into your office and open your filing cabinet?
No.
No. And the reason is because that's private.
Right.
Okay? But as a federal contractor, my entire career, are my contracts private or are they public?
Open book.
I'm sorry?
Open book.
Open book. We, the people, get to see how our federal government spends money.
Great.
So every contract I ever got from the federal government, is that public or private?
It's public.
It's public. That's a big difference between my business and your business, and here's why. If you tell me that you got a $500,000 contract yesterday, you can lie to me. But if I tell you that I got a $500,000 contract yesterday, I can't lie to you. Why? I mean, I could lie to you, but
public money means public information.
That's right. So do you think I would ever lie about any contract I ever got?
You can't.
Well, I mean, I could, but that wouldn't be very smart, right?
Yeah. Okay. You can't.
Now, let's talk about the second part of that. I've been teaching contractors how to get federal contracts for 15 years. The contracts that they get from the federal government, are they public or private?
Repeat that.
The contractors that I've been teaching this to for 15 years, when they get a federal contract, Is that public information or private?
Public.
That's right, it's public. So do you think I'd ever lie about any contract they ever got?
No.
That's right. Because that would be really stupid, because somebody could go look that up and call me a liar, and I would never let that happen. Okay? Now, are you guys near a computer?
Yes.
I want you to pull up a page on my website.
Okay.
My website, GCExperts.com, GCExperts.com, GCExperts.com /proof, PROOF.
Okay, we're putting this thing up here.
Go forward. It's just for a second.
If you want yeah, so it's just take a second for the computer to boot up the laptop here.
We'll take all the time. Like I said, don't worry. Time doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does sometimes. Okay, is that computer necessary? Or just a separate device would be okay, maybe?
That's fine, but I just want to explain to you how that page works and why it's significant.
Okay.
I can tell you that, and you can think of it conceptually, and then you can decide to go look at it later. I have no problem with that.
We have additional devices. It's just the laptop is not
Okay,
connected to
no problem.
powers.
Just pull up on your browser, on your phone, GCExperts.com /proof. And I want to explain to you the significance of that page. It's important.
GCExperts.com/proof. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. So you yourself are a subcontractor, correct, Sean?
No,
You're not. Oh.
I've never been a subcontractor in my whole life.
So you're more construction management now, right?
I mean, a subcontractor to the government. You have a contract with the government.
Stop assuming what I am.
I'm not assuming. I'm just asking.
No, I understand. We're going to get there.
Okay.
One thing at a
Okay,
time.
so GCS experts. Okay, so accept. And then a lady's head popped up. Said, "I have a question." Okay, so what do you want me to go to after this?
GCExperts.com /proof, PROOF. Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm not going to ask you to do anything on that page other than just follow along with what I say.
Okay.
I want you to imagine for a second that for a long time I was teaching people in person, and at the end of that teaching, I would hold a video camera up and say, "How'd you like the training?" There's a bunch of videos on that page of people going, "Oh my God, you're the expert." Okay? So what that is proof that I taught them. Would you agree?
Yes.
Possibly, yes.
Okay. Now, how do you know it actually worked? All you know watching that video is some guy is saying, "Oh my God, this guy's an expert."
The money shows it. Show me the money.
The federal money, the proof. Okay. Underneath each video on that page is a red link.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to click the first one just as an example.
Red link. The only thing red on here is the microphone turn off.
Underneath each video on that page is a red box.
View his federal award since GCE experts. That one? Okay,
yes. Now that takes you to usaspending.gov. That's a federal government website, not my website. Okay. That is that person's public profile on usaspending.gov. But when you look at the number of contracts he's got, like the dollars, tell me the dollars that you see, Vaughn, because it changes all the time.
Yeah, 7.1 million from.
That's right, $7.1 million. That guy's gotten 7.1 million in contracts. Now you understand what those red links do. Okay. Now, if you go just through the 8 videos or 9 videos on that page, and you went and you added up all the federal contracts that just those guys have gotten, it's over $420 million.
Okay.
Understand that the proof page is indisputable proof that A, I taught them, and B, they applied it and they got federal contracts.
Okay.
Okay.
Jump ahead of myself, but are these company profiles that other people that clients can access to choose their contractor, or no?
No, that's not what this
Okay.
is.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, let me explain. I guess you're playing catch up, Brooke, and you and I are gonna have a conversation here. For my entire career, I was United States federal government construction contractor. Okay.
Mhm.
There's over 1 million companies that are registered with the federal government to do business with them. People that sell wrestling mats, people who sell cake mix, but there's also construction contractors. Okay. Our federal government owns and maintains 1 million buildings across the United States, and they all need construction goods and services. HVAC, framing, roofing, concrete work, electrical work, you name it, they need it. I was one of the go-to guys for many, many, many years providing construction goods and services to the federal government. By the way, verifiably. Okay. 15 years ago, Obama issued the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act, and we discovered that there was a problem. Remember, I said there was 1 million companies registered with the federal government for all the different things that they buy? It turns out there's only 25,000 registered for construction. 25,000.
Those include that's everybody's GSA, set aside contracts, everything.
Active or inactive?
That's a great question. Brooke, that's a fantastic question. In fact, in my mind, that's probably about a $2 billion question that you just asked. Okay. Let me tell you why that question is so important. And it's not for the reason that you think. In order to do business with the government, the federal government, you have to be what's called SAM registered.
SAM.gov.
SAM.gov.
Mm-hmm.
Many companies figure out how to get SAM registered, but they all think, okay, I'm SAM registered. Give me a federal contract. It doesn't work that way.
No.
So, of the 25,000 registered federal construction contractors, how many do you think are actually getting federal contracts?
Maybe 1/4.
That's a great answer. By the way, this is all public information. It's about 3,000 of the 25,000.
That's not much, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're one of the other 22,000, what is the likelihood that you renew your SAM registration the following year if you didn't get any federal contracts?
30%.
It's small. Some will just because they want to keep it active just in case. Okay. But some are going to drop off and not renew. That's why the number's never cumulative. It's not 25,000 this year and then 50,000 3 years from now, because people are dropping off and people are signing up. I've seen it as low as 22,000. I've seen it as high as 27,000, but on average, it's about 25,000 a year.
Okay.
But on average, I'm sorry?
I'd like to give you just a really brief elevator synopsis of my background. And that I worked for architectural engineering firms, civil engineering firms, and my job was procurement, contracts, and business development. So
you're not a dummy. I love it.
30% of our business was federal contracts. It takes a long time. You have to stay on top of it, but I know how to do it. Yeah. So.
Okay, great. Great. I could look up the cage code of the old company and I could find out on usaspending.gov how they're doing. You could
doing
too.
Great. They all are, yeah.
Now, I want to light a light bulb off in both of your heads. We're going to play a dumb little 5th grade game, but at the end of the game, a light bulb is going to pop off. So you know what a SAM registration is. We're going to play a game. I'm going to ask you questions, but I'm going to tell you the answer to the question before I ask you the question. Are you ready for the answer?
Okay.
SAM registration. Ready to play?
Yep.
There's one thing and one thing only required to be a federal government construction contractor, and that is a?
EIN.
Nope.
No?
I said I'm going to give you the answer to the question before I ask you the question.
Ah,
The answer is SAM registration. Ready to play?
yes.
Yes.
There's one thing and one thing only required to be a federal contractor, and that is a?
Never.
So if you sell cake mix to the Navy so they can make cakes on ships, what do you need?
SAM registration.
If you sell bullets or aircraft parts or even construction goods and services, what do you need?
SAM registration.
Okay. Now we're going to play the other part of the game. Brooke, if you and I walked through a neighborhood and I pointed to the top of a power pole and said, that's a transformer, would you recognize that as transformer?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you 3 scenarios. Scenario number 1. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician in the state of Colorado. Now, that has nothing to do with the company that got the job. All they needed was a SAM registration. But you would have to coordinate the completion of the replacement of the transformer.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to hire a licensed electrician in the state of Colorado to make that happen. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician.
Mm-hmm.
Well, under scenario number 2, any licensed electrician from any state can go into Colorado and replace that transformer. Understand that this is federal eminent domain property. There is no such thing as a state inspector going onto a federal job.
Right.
Scenario number 3. The transformer shall be replaced. Under that scenario, it literally means that the 3 of us could go out there on a Saturday and replace the transformer with our own 2 hands.
Right.
And it gets written all 3 ways all the time, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the company that got registered with SAM.
Right. Yes.
No license required. So that's how I can tell you I've done $1 billion worth of work for the federal government. I have never had a license of any kind other than a driver's license.
Okay.
Brooke, you could literally start a company tomorrow, register yourself with SAM, and do everything that I did, even without my help. There was no GCExperts when I started in this business. Okay. In fact, I got a phone call 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. It's on my YouTube channel by a woman named Vanetta who called me up out of the blue and said, I'm a notary and I signed up with sam.gov thinking that I would be finding notary jobs. There weren't any. And I'm thinking, no shit, lady. But then she said, so I looked at this roofing job and nobody said I couldn't bid it. So I did. And wouldn't you know it, I won. And I hired a local roofer to do the job and I made $30,000. I want to do more of that. Can you help me? I burst out laughing. I couldn't believe it. Somebody had just figured it out.
Okay.
Nobody told her she couldn't, so she did. Fantastic story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what do? I answer people's questions and I solve their problems on federal contracts. Do I have a training program, buy my shit now and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, sure I do. Okay. Vaughn's probably watched a bunch of videos related to that and people that have gone through that training, and they're all out there killing it in the federal government construction world because I took the time to develop a 3-day training course. Okay. And it's all like this. It's in your face, education, education, education. Not this federal acquisition regulation states that you're going to have to do this on this date. And if you don't do that, then bad things are going to happen. It's from the perspective of a boots on the ground contractor, a construction guy. That's why I talk the way I talk. I'm a contractor. Now,
Yeah, I don't think about it too much. We want to get out there and start doing it. After we learn from you.
that's right. Now, I'm the guy that holds people accountable. All right. One of the requirements for coming into this Zoom was that Vaughn had to have watched the video with Michael, where that guy asked me a lot of questions. Okay. Because you guys, you, the public, get to watch videos, Google me, figure out who I am. But this is my opportunity to figure out who you guys are. Do I want to work with you? Personalities are different. Some people, when I start kicking them in the teeth in these Zoom calls, they pretty much are thinking, fuck that guy. That's fine by me. No problem. With all that said, I'll answer anything you want to know about federal government construction. I'm a one-trick pony. It's all I really know.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a lot of years. So.
Since I was 15.
Wow. I've been trying to get into it through the woman-owned side of it for a few years. A wife and then a business partner back in the day. And we make it up almost because the requirement is 2 years of business before you can do it.
Absolutely not. That's 100% false. I have people.
Yeah, that was back in the day, wasn't it? Like that though, the woman-owned business or minority, you had to be in business for 2 years before you could ever entertain the government side of things.
That's anyway, a myth. It's absolutely true.
Well,
there's one requirement. There's one requirement to be awarded a federal contract. Be SAM registered. That's it.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
By the way, here's a fun trick question. True or false? Anybody, anywhere in the whole wide world can bid a federal contract. True or false?
If they're registered with SAM.gov.
Whoa. Anybody, anywhere, anytime can bid a federal contract. Any type of federal contract. True or false?
I can bid it. I would.
You have to be American. Is U.S. citizen?
Okay. No, I say no. I say no to that question.
U.S. company?
It's a trick question. Anybody, anywhere, anytime can bid a federal contract from anywhere in the world. True or false?
I would say no.
Okay. And that's why it's a trick question. Anybody, anywhere you can turn in a bid. You can turn in a bid right now. You can find any solicitation and turn in a bid.
But can you get a bid? Can you get the project though?
Can you get awarded? You can't be awarded a federal contract unless you're registered with SAM.gov.
So stipulations for being denied an award or a bid. U.S. citizen? Question mark.
No, it has nothing to do with U.S. citizen. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me dispel these myths. All right. If I'm a citizen in another country, no U.S. citizenship, can I own a company that's based in the United States?
No idea. I haven't tried.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you could, yes.
You absolutely can. A company is just a piece of paper. By the way, our country is just a piece of paper.
Correct, yeah.
Okay? A company is just a piece of paper. I can't talk to a company. I can talk to representatives of the company, but I can't pick up the phone and talk to a company. It's just a piece of paper. Okay?
I think you asked some questions too. Like the question you answered for me the other day on text was, I said I was a felon. And you said, well, as long as the company doesn't.
As long as the company, that's right. The company has to have a clean record. Who owns the company? The federal government doesn't give two shits. Okay. Now, is the company SAM registered? If yes, then it can be awarded a federal contract.
Okay.
It's real simple. This whole business is real simple if people would just do what I tell them to do. The guys that do what I tell them to do, they're doing millions of dollars in federal contracts.
Yeah.
In order to register for SAM.gov, it will tell you if you're not if you're making a mistake on the application, the registration.
Well, you guys will do it for us, or
That's right. We can do it for you. That's right. We can make sure the whole thing is compliant, set up exactly the right way, have the proper NAICS codes and everything. Yes, we can do that for you. But I want everybody to understand that I talked to that there's nothing I did in my entire career that you can't do.
Right.
Okay. All that matters is time. Okay. You guys are probably younger than me. All right. You got plenty of time left in your life. You can go figure all this out.
We're actually probably older than you, actually.
Okay. Well, I have a unique I can't see people's ages. I've never been able to. I mean, I can tell kids from adults.
We
but
pickle ourselves for a couple of years, so we're good.
I don't even know what the name of it is, but I've never had the ability to do that.
All right.
But regardless, it's all about how fast do you want to accelerate yourself into this federal government world. Okay. If you want to go fast, I'm your ticket. I'll make things happen so fast it'll blow your mind.
But if fast show, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Vaughn?
That's why I want to do the training, the workshop, because I want people to know what to do, like right away. I mean,
that's a decision for you.
Get on bid tracker and start bidding stuff out there.
Vaughn,
Put
that's a
bids out
decision for you, a decision for Dean, a decision for Brooke. That's all on your side. Okay. That's not a question or a problem that I need to solve.
Right.
We'll figure that out. We can figure that out.
Yeah, we need to transition into that.
We can figure that out. Yeah.
I mean, I got a client that called me yesterday, and my wife just burst out laughing because he goes, "You got to hear this golf story." And I'm thinking, no, I don't. Okay. And my wife burst out laughing because she knows what I'm thinking, and he told the story anyway. And I said, Skip, I'm not the guy for that. Don't know what a 5-iron is, or a wedge, or any of that stuff. Okay. I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah, this part can over the team so much. Yes, I understand. There's so much retention up top sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do have more questions I don't have written down in front of me. I wasn't sure.
If you think of it, I know some people think they come into this Zoom and they're going to hear, here's your 7 key steps to being a federal contractor. Step 1, step 2. And if you buy my shit today for 19, that is not what.
So we've done the workshop. I mean, I could ask many questions, but I'm sure they'll be answered in the workshop. That's why we wanted the workshop in that.
No question about it.
I do have one question. Do the insurance requirements differ from job to job, or do they have to have one set?
It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same GNL 1-2 that you already have. It's the most common type of construction insurance there is.
Okay, gotcha.
Dean says he has the best insurance.
Okay, yep. Okay, just wondering.
No, she asked a great question.
Anything else that has thrown you or other contractors or subcontractors for a loop that came out unexpected regarding SAM.gov or the contracts or anything that they just weren't prepared for?
A million of them, but they just pick up the phone and call me, and I solve it for them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and that goes back to the 3 questions: to the licensed contractor in the state, or licensed contractor, or no license. Go do ourselves. All right. So once the job is finished, we put our bill in, then, and it's paid in 14 days.
That's a great question, and that's not quite exactly what you just said. So let me explain it to you. Federal contracts are paid in accordance with what's called the Federal Prompt Payment Act, which you can Google. It's put into the Federal Acquisition Prompt, PROMPT. Okay. And it gets put into an act as an act of Congress. It's law. But the way that it shows up for federal contractors is Part 52 of the Federal Acquisition Regulations, which are public information. You can Google that and you can go read that. But what it says in there is that the contractor shall be paid monthly or more often as deemed necessary by the contracting officer. So you can put an invoice in once a month. Then it goes on to say that you shall be paid within 14 days of an approved invoice on a partial pay request. Partial meaning less than 100% complete. Okay. So if you turn in a billing for 50%, they pay you in 14 days. If you turn it in for 75%, they pay you in 14 days. If you turn it in for 100%, it goes on to say that you'll be paid within 30 days. So listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. When my guys are 100% complete, I tell them to bill the job 98% complete. Why?
So you can get it in 14 days instead of 30.
That's right. Then the next month, I tell them to bill the extra 2%. Now, sometimes a contracting officer, a procurement official will say, wait a minute, you guys are 100% complete. Why are you only billing 98% complete? What I tell my guys to respond to that is, we're in the construction business, and we know from experience that the moment we leave a job, if there's gonna be a warranty issue, it almost always happens within the first 30 days. We just want to make sure the government's holding a little bit of retainage there just in case that happens, to make them feel like we're looking out for the taxpayer. But what are we really trying to accomplish?
Looking out for our workers, employees.
To get paid.
No, we want to get paid in 14 days instead of 30. Okay,
If you don't pay your workers, they're not going to show up.
good point.
So
But
at the beginning of the job, we could put in a billing, an invoice for 50% there.
at the beginning of a job, how much percent complete have you accomplished?
Right.
Okay, I see.
It has to be proof positive too.
They
Yeah,
pay
the
on a
first couple,
percent complete
job.
basis.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot. Most subcontractors out there are gonna want some money down rather than some of the jobs ourselves to start with. So
No,
we get some
hold
built
on
up
a
and then-
second. No, I disagree with you 100%. Okay. I'm going to teach you exactly how that works. Subcontractors want money up front for two reasons. One, they're worried that you're not. How hard is it to get money out of Vaughn? Okay. So they're asking for money up front because they want to find out how hard is it going to be to get paid.
Right.
Or number two, they really don't have the money to buy the stuff to start work. Those are the two primary reasons somebody asks for money up front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, when somebody says that to me, I say, listen, you're probably asking that for two different reasons. I'm going to quash number one right now. This is a federal contract. That means Department of Justice. It says in the Federal Acquisition Regulations and the Federal Prompt Payment Act that when I get money, I have to pay you within 7 days. Don't take my word for it. Go read it. Okay? Nobody wants to get in trouble with the Department of Justice over not paying a subcontractor. Now, that's one methodology. The other thing is federal contracts are bonded. If I die tomorrow, get hit by a bus, my bonding company, they step in and they pay you. By the way, here's a copy of the bond. So you're protected under situation number one. You're not going to have a problem getting money. Number two, you don't have the money to buy the shit that needs to be installed. Great. I'll open the account. I'll put it on 30-day pay. You go pick up the stuff you need. If we agree on $50,000, if I end up paying $20,000 in material, I'm going to subtract that 20 grand from the 50 and you're going to get 30. Does that quash both of your primary concerns?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did any of that require money out of pocket from you?
No.
Stop thinking that you know the way things work. Because I'm here to tell you, if your life was perfect, you wouldn't be on a Zoom with me.
Right.
I have an answer for everything, but you got to figure out, number one, am I full of shit or not? And number two, I don't even know you guys. Look at how I'm talking to you.
I have a question when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Budget tracking in terms of following the money from the project level, from the federal to the state to the local, back to the federal. Is SAM.gov the best tool for that to find those projects before they are actually posted?
No.
Then
No.
it's from the local, state, federal, loops around again. Find out
Okay.
which projects you have.
First of all, I've never done a local, city, county, state contract in my life.
But sometimes the projects originate from there and they need the federal funds to get them going.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never done a city, state, local ever. Only
Talking
federal.
about how we acquire the jobs, how we find out about them.
Yeah, just like project tracking, budget tracking in terms of where the money's coming from. Like, how can we get ahead of the game outside of SAM.gov?
Well, that's
What is
public information. The federal budget tells you exactly which agencies got the money.
That's what I was asking. Yeah. So
Yeah, yes, that's public information. Yes,
Okay.
that's public information. But I'm here to tell you that if you go down that road, you're breaking rule number one. Wouldn't you like to know what rule number one is?
Yes.
Rule number one in federal contracting is we don't tell the federal government how to spend their money.
Right.
That's rule number one. You would be breaking rule number one by trying to get in front of that shit and making some of that money flow your way.
It's not about the money. It's about following the trends. I'm like following the trends in terms of
you don't need to follow those trends.
This market research and such.
So he's got a website.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. Part of this conversation was that you understood what bid tracker is.
I know what bid tracker is. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
That's his website. He built that.
Yeah.
Okay. I built bid tracker, spent $250,000 building that site out, spend 25, 30 grand a month maintaining it.
I know what it is.
Okay. What your job is as a federal contractor is to get in between what the federal government is already spending money on and the people that know how to do that type of work. So, look, I've done wind tunnels for NASA, water treatment plants for the Air Force. I've done kitchen renovations for the National Park Service. I built a power plant for the Navy off the coast of California on an island. I've worked on 4 presidents' homes. I replaced the carpet at the top of the St. Louis Arch. Okay? I've replaced everything as small as an air conditioner to multi-million-dollar contracts. All I did was get in between what the government decided to spend money on and the people that knew how to do the work. That's the job.
Right. And whether you went and did it yourself or brokered it out.
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
When I was coming up in this business, I did a 55 building switchover for the Air Force at Goodfellow Air Force Base from old Mercury thermostats on the wall to a full-blown digital control system, and that was 1995.
Okay.
Maybe 96.
Trying to think of a couple of questions I had. I really just wanted to watch the workshop or get the workshop behind us, and then I have my list of questions and ready to move forward with this thing here. So
that's on you guys.
Okay, sounds good.
I do have a heart. I have 2 kids, been married for 24 years, and she really puts up with a lot with me.
And vice versa. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, I get aggressive in these calls because smart people, for some reason, they get ideas in their head and they believe that this is how the world works. And you have to grab people by their soul in these things. And if you can't, they're not the right people to be in this anyway. So if you can, put up with my aggression, understand that nobody will work harder for you to help you get profitable federal contracts. That's probably the most important thing to me, is helping people by actually helping them.
Great. I believe you have. I mean, you have seems to have all the answers for all that. Just we got to put it into work, for us. And let's see. There's another question I have. It's when we go to see these jobs on Bid Tracker, do we have to go in person to look at all these jobs up front, or do they have?
Absolutely not. I would discourage that.
Right. Just around the country.
I'm building a system right now. I mean, look, technology is always changing. The workforce is always changing. I'm building a system right now where you could run $100 million a year federal government construction company from a cell phone. No other type of computer needed. So, look, you're coming into a special time in my life where I've got all the knowledge of my entire career. I've got the team in place, the resources. I'm building something really special for the future for all federal government contractors. I hope you figured out in this phone call that you're talking to somebody who really understands all of this. Between my dad and I, we sued the federal government 14 times without an attorney, and we're not attorneys. We won 8 of them. We're very special at what we did in our careers. And I hope that's coming through, because the people that are on, in the GCExperts ecosystem, there's one of the latest videos I posted the other day. I just developed this AI maybe 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. I mean, not developed it, completed it, got it out to my members. I got her on camera talking just like we are. And she glossed over it. She's talking about this extra 150 grand she got. And I said, Ebony, you're glossing over it. What helped you get that? She goes, your new AI. And I went, yeah, it sure did, didn't it? I'm developing an AI that's based on my entire career. I've already fed it hundreds of jobs that I did. All the emails I sent to the federal government, all the emails they sent to me, the letters they faxed me in the old days. I had them all OCR'd, okay? I invested easily another $250,000 in this new system. It's already working for the people in my program, making them, winning them contracts, the whole 9 yards.
Sweet.
This is only the second conversation I've ever even mentioned it in.
So when we do traveling, most of it's going to be if we are awarded the contract and we need to go to that.
You're only going to go. You're only going to go if you want to. There's some neat things to see in this world.
I was like, yeah, that's part of it. Also, like, you guys can't. Nobody can send images of like inside of nuclear facilities or anything like that. So you can see the job, right?
In fact, I took a job.
We got to go see it in person and then bid it on those kind of types of jobs, right? And then once we are awarded a job, and we want a subcontractor. Obviously, we got to go there to that town and find a subcontractor to deal with and have them do the job, right?
You're right.
Do it ourselves.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, I look forward to doing a little traveling around. It does sound like a good time. Yeah. So
Hey, Sean, what are the requirements these days for, I mean, I've been out of the loop for a while since I had my kids, but what are the requirements in terms of M and W and DBE status for certain type of
It
dollar amount
doesn't
contract?
matter. 35 years ago, it was a big deal. In today's
This isn't
world,
that long ago.
in today's world, what's actually happening is the opposite. Everybody's trying to get those set asides and then try to compete with each other over that 3% and ignoring the 97%. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. Okay, do you have any more questions, Ben? For this one?
no, I mean, I've watched a lot of the videos. I believe in you 100%. That's why, I want to go with you, and I'm trying to get Dean on the same page.
But that's not my problem. Just not.
All right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the post workshop Zoom. Which, I mean, I don't know how many questions I will have then either. It's just as long as, I mean, I understand a lot of it. I think.
Well,
I mean,
the fact of the matter is, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of post-workshop Zooms on my YouTube channel because most people just go out of the workshop right into bidding jobs.
Right. Actually, yeah.
And if they don't have any questions or have any problems, I got no video of them because they're not calling me.
Well, I guess that's where we hope to be, is to go right into it.
I will. Yeah, I got some ideas. I've got a plan. So yeah, so the owner may be too busy, but we'll figure this out.
All right. Well, I'm here for you when you guys need me. I assure you.
Okay.
And Vaughn will tell you I respond to every text.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Very responsive. Yeah, I think right now, then I guess we're good. So the next step is to come up with the cash for the workshop, and I believe we have that. Just talk to our leader here, Dean.
All
right.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
You bet, Brooke. Have a good one. It was great to meet you guys.
You as well.
Great to meet you too.
Take good care.
Have a good one, Sean.